Hi, good morning. This little video is called Kate with a Ball and the Band, done in a hotel room to show you how easy it is to travel with a ball that you can just deflate and an easy band to pack. This way you don't get so stiff on your traveling. So I'm going to take you also through the 3 simple positions where you put your ball so that you can mobilize your entire spine. So I'm going to start with it lying on your small little towel, sticking it under your bottom. So it's not in your lower back, it's in your bottom, so your lower back has this little gap in it. And then we do what I call the Nike swish, where you're sliding sideways horizontally, rotating, sending a little rotation swish into your lower back and pelvis. Try and keep your legs still, so your legs aren't moving, that the movement is coming from your stomach and your lower back muscles. Once you've mastered the swish, then we move on to pelvic tilt. So you're doing what you normally do on the floor to start your bridge, tipping your tail, pointing your pubic upwards, and then tipping it down, increasing your lower back curve, and then decreasing the lower back curve. So again, flexing and extending into the lower back. And again, the same with this one, using your little muscles, your tummy muscles, pelvic floor muscles drawing in, rather than pushing through the feet. You'll get more of a muscle activation in your core by involving your feet with this one. And then once you've done the 2 of those, so the side swish and the tipping, then you can put them together and circle your whole pelvis on that ball. So now you're doing an entire hula dance, one direction, and once you've done it the one direction, you change that direction. Again, trying to do less legs and more stomach. Once you feel like you've activated those little muscles and got a bit of a mobility of your back, straightening the one leg and pulling the other leg up, holding that stretch. Hold it for at least 30 seconds. I'm going to start that one again. Ball is under your tail, stretching out your one leg and I'm making it nice and long, bringing up the other leg. Stretching into that hip flexor, which is, after lots of flying, gets very stiff, or just sitting at one's desk, or just with age. So as you're pulling up the right leg, the left leg I'm lengthening out right the way, knee pulling away from hip, toes pulling away from hip. And then release that side, swap over. What I'm feeling is a lovely stretch on my right hip flexor, adding to a normal stretch you'd get on the ground. Just lift that hip flexor up a bit, so it needs to stretch a bit more. And then taking that ball out from there, and then we migrate up the spine. So now we're putting it, it's often difficult to find the spot for some people, but it's not in the lower back, it's covering your rib side. So there's my lower back, it's my neck, I've got a bit of shoulder blade showing, but my base of my shoulder blades are on that ball, lower back is free from the ball. Straightening out my legs, and then I'm reversing back over that ball. So really this exercise is just to mobilize that middle spine. My head is relaxed in my hands as much as possible. My shoulder blades are drawing down into that ball. They're away from the neck, keeping length of the neck. My pelvis hasn't moved. It's the same position and shape it is when I'm moving forwards or backwards. So the movement and the muscle power is coming from the stomach. And what I'm feeling is a mobilizing of my middle back. As I move back, I'm feeling different vertebrae pressing into that ball, opening and closing the rib cage. And then I'm going to hold myself in the flexed position, checking my shoulder blades are drawn down, checking my rib cage is closing in, but there's pressure in the base of the ball there, not at the top. Sliding my legs up, keeping my pelvis still. And then you can go into small little abdominal curls. But I'm fixing my top, so it's not really a curl of the abdominal, it's holding that, and then bringing one leg up, dropping it down, bringing the other leg up, dropping that down. So my upper body is staying still. It's working hard because it wants to sink into that ball. But a feeling of sending my head up to the ceiling, keeping my shoulders drawing down, pressing the base of my ribs into the ball, keeping the pelvis still, moving from the hip joints. And then pause and reverse backwards. Okay, another simple one to engage everything. I'm going to just give you a bit more of the leg. I should have put my phone the other way, it's a bit late now. Alright, so extending over that ball, giving yourself a little stretch. I'm going to straighten out the left leg, keep the right leg bent, and then flexing over that ball with my middle back, using my tummy muscles to bring myself over, tightening up the thigh on the left, pulling up my toes on the left, and then just doing a straight leg raise. So I'm curled in my upper body, staying still, hips staying still, and I'm just doing a straight leg raise on the one side. We're going to do about 10. I think I've done about 5. Every time you lift your leg, check where you are with your upper body. One tends to drop. So you're having to just make sure that you're maintaining your curve. Once you've done that side, slide that leg back up again and straighten the other leg. Check your curve, you've still got it. Tighten up your quad. Pull up your toes. Pulling up your toes to your nose, pushing your heel away, helps engage your quad better. Keeping your ribs pushing into that base of the ball. Shoulders are not pulling you forward, and nor the elbows, they're sort of resting backwards. The strength is coming from your stomach. And then relax that leg down, stretch out both legs and just extend your body over that ball. Having a little break. You can do so many other things with the ball underneath your back, like this. I'm going to skip those for now and move on to the neck. So, the ball is fully supporting your neck. Doesn't matter what your legs are doing, whether they're straight or bent. The base of my head is also obviously on that ball. My shoulders are relaxed. And then I'm pushing down into the ball with the back of my neck, base of head. And I'm just maintaining a little bit of pressure there. Trying to keep the shoulders relaxed at the same time. And then maintaining that downward pressure, squashing the ball, nodding the head. Little head nods. What am I doing with the head nod? I'm pivoting the top of my neck and the base of my skull. Often is this very stiff area. Making sure I have that downward pressure into the ball. and then relax everything. Turn your head sort of like a 45-degree angle, so slightly to the side, and then you're pressing down into that ball again, pushing backwards now on an angle, and then a little head nod. It's a small movement, just getting the top of that neck to loosen and stretch those muscles that often shorten due to our devices. Over to the other side, 45-degree. Press back into that ball. Get that slightly angled downward pressure. And again, tilting, pivoting. And then come back to the middle. And then we do our big mobility supported by that ball. So it's an infinity sign. Infinity is a squash down sideways 8, figure of 8. So I'm dropping down, around, up, coming through the middle, down, around and up, and down through the middle, all the way down, double chinning it to the side, all the way up, stretching right up. You make your circle as big as your neck will let you go, and as big as the ball will support you. But it's working through a lovely neck range, generally with a lot of comfort and support, as opposed to awkwardness and scary movement. So there's a direction to your infinity sign. Notice which way you're going, but you can then change it. Okay. Right, now your spine is nice and sort of mobilized. I'm going to take the ball out, travel down into your legs, grab your band, and put your band around your foot. And move up my short little towel. So, right leg is relaxed down, and then I'm holding the left leg, supporting with both my hands. But a very strong band, ideally do it with a strong band, otherwise use a long big towel from your bathroom. And you're bringing that leg up as straight as possible. It's okay if your knee bends a bit, but if you're wanting to get the neural stretch, you want your leg fairly straight until you're getting a pull. Now, a pull isn't pain, so I don't want it to be very uncomfortable. You just want to notice where it is. Is it in your calf, in your hamstring, in your foot? In your back perhaps, and then you're circling. It's as if you've got a big pot of soup and you're stirring the pot with your hip joint. So the leg's not doing much. If you're holding your leg up on its own and not using your band, you're going to cramp in your leg. More than likely, it's going to get very tired at least. So try and let your leg be heavy in the band and let the arms do the stirring. Once again, there's a direction to this, so then change your direction. Notice the different pulling in your leg as you change that direction. And I think my favorite leg release is the what I call the windscreen wiper, where you're moving your leg out to the side, nice and wide, giving your groin a big stretch, and then bringing it right over to as far as you feel comfortable across your body. Notice my hip isn't sliding. What happens sometimes is we want to rotate everything with the leg and go up and over. Preferably not with this exercise. You just want to keep your pelvis grounded and just move from the hip, and you get a nice big neural stretch May right be into the tip of your toes or into your back or down the side of your leg. And then we swap legs. I like to swap in the air, but then bring that leg down so that you can slowly find where its stretch is. Legs are very different. You might have very big different range, side left to right. So once you find your new height with the other leg, you're circling in that joint. Hip joint again. In your circles, it doesn't really matter the size. I find it's just easier with the hands not to make the circle too big. And I can relax my elbows on the floor and not over pull my arms. Change the direction. And then across your midline, over and out, big Pantechnicon windscreen wiper. When you go across your midline, you get that big strong pull on the outside of your thigh and shin. You can even turn your foot in. When you take your leg all the way out, you get the stretch into the groin, back of your hamstring. And then take the band off. And you can use that range with your arms out wide to the sides of your body. Okay, with your legs together, just let your legs rotate. This time your hip is coming right up. My knees are stacked on top of each other. And then you can even extend the top leg up and straighten it out. If it can get low to the floor, go for it. Then you're getting a big twist in your lower back and your hip, down your leg, trying to keep your shoulder blade, your opposite shoulder blade on the ground. So if my left legs come over to the right, I'm focusing on my left shoulder being down and actually looking with my head to my left hand. And then bring that leg up and over to the other side, rotating, keeping my shoulder blade on the ground. This has all come up. My shoulder blade I'm trying to keep grounded. Once I'm there, stretching out that top leg. I've run out of a bit of space there against the wall. But then I'm getting a nice big stretch into my glute, back, looking into my right hand. And then coming back to the middle. Right, I think that's enough for today. That should help you a little bit. Thank you and goodbye. Hi, good morning. This little video is called Kate with a Ball and the Band, done in a hotel room to show you how easy it is to travel with a ball that you can just deflate and an easy band to pack. This way you don't get so stiff on your traveling. So I'm going to take you also through the 3 simple positions where you put your ball so that you can mobilize your entire spine. So I'm going to start with it lying on your small little towel, sticking it under your bottom. So it's not in your lower back, it's in your bottom, so your lower back has this little gap in it. And then we do what I call the Nike swish, where you're sliding sideways horizontally, rotating, sending a little rotation swish into your lower back and pelvis. Try and keep your legs still, so your legs aren't moving, that the movement is coming from your stomach and your lower back muscles. once you've mastered the swish, then we move on to pelvic tilt. So you're doing what you normally do on the floor to start your bridge, tipping your tail, pointing your pubic upwards, and then tipping it down, increasing your lower back curve, and then decreasing the lower back curve. So again, flexing and extending into the lower back. And again, with the same with this one, using your little muscles, your tummy muscles, pelvic floor muscles drawing in, rather than pushing through the feet. You'll get more of a muscle activation in your core by uninvolving your feet with this one. And then once you've done the two of those, so the side swish and the tipping, then you can put them together and circle your whole pelvis on that ball. So now you're doing an entire hula dance, one direction. And once you've done it the one direction, you change that direction. Again, trying to do less legs and more stomach. Once you feel like you've activated those little muscles and got a bit of a mobility of your back, straightening the one leg and pulling the other leg up, holding that stretch. Hold it for at least 30 seconds.